Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're going on a journey back in time today to the Indus Valley civilization, but not the usual stuff like their cities or trade.
Right.
We're diving into their astronomy.
Exactly, yeah, their astronomy. We're going to be exploring the work of researcher Sukumar Rajagopal,
Okay.
who's building on the work of scholars like Oscar Parpala and Irava Mahadevan,
Gotcha.
really piecing together this puzzle and revealing a pretty sophisticated understanding of astronomy hidden within the Indus script.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but isn't that script still largely undeciphered? How do we even know what they knew about astronomy?
That's the fascinating challenge.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Sukumar's work really interesting. The Indus inscriptions are so short, some are just like 1 or 2 symbols long.
Wow.
It's hard to imagine, conveying complex ideas, let alone astronomical observations,
Right.
with so few characters.
It's like writing a symphony on a Post-it note.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Sukumar had this kind of aha moment. What if these short inscriptions weren't trying to tell these long, complex stories, but instead were celestial omens?
Okay.
Like, think of it as an ancient cosmic Twitter feed.
Ooh, I like that. Cosmic tweets. All right, so how did he start to decipher them? Did he find like an ancient Indus dictionary in a tomb or something?
Haha, not quite. But he did use a technique called bilingual parallels.
Okay.
This involves comparing Indus symbols to similar symbols and concepts found in later scripts and languages,
Okay.
especially those from the Dravidian language family.
So it's like a linguistic detective game, finding clues across time
Yeah, exactly.
and languages.
And one of the biggest breakthroughs was deciphering the symbol for Venus.
Okay.
Parpala had already kind of cracked this puzzle, this visual puzzle called a rebus,
A rebus.
that connected a fish symbol and 2 vertical lines to Venus.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about this fish puzzle.
So in Old Tamil, the word for Venus is Velimin, meaning silver star. The fish represents Min, meaning star. And then those 2 lines, plus that gap, kind of look like Veli, meaning silver.
Wow, that's amazing. They were literally drawing the word.
Yeah.
So why Venus? What made it so important to the Harappans?
Well, Venus was crucial for a number of reasons. First, its 8-year cycle helped ancient cultures reconcile lunar and solar calendars, so it was kind of a celestial timekeeper.
Makes sense.
But there's more.
Oh.
So Sukumar, building on Mahadevan and Parpala's work, discovered that the Harappans connected Venus to rainfall prediction. And they actually linked Venus to snakes, specifically king cobras and meteorology.
Wait, snakes, Venus, weather forecasting. I'm lost. How does that work?
It's pretty fascinating. King cobras are unique because they build their nests above ground. And the height of their nest correlates with the intensity of the monsoon season.
Really?
So Sukumar theorizes that the Harappans, just by watching those king cobra nests and rainfall, could link that to the cycles of Venus.
Okay, that is seriously impressive. Talk about paying attention to nature.
Yeah.
So they were watching Venus to know when to, plant their crops.
Yeah, and prepare for the monsoon season.
But were they tracking other planets too?
Absolutely. Sukumar, drawing on the work of Parpala and Mahadevan, identified symbols for Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and even the lunar nodes,
Whoa.
Rahu and Ketu. These are points where the moon's path intersects with the sun's path, often associated with eclipses.
Okay.
So yeah, they were keeping tabs on the whole cosmic crew.
Wow. And they used all this for practical purposes. This is way beyond stargazing.
Oh yeah.
This was like hardcore science.
They were actively seeking to understand these rhythms of the cosmos and apply that knowledge to their lives. And one of the most fascinating examples of this is a tablet called H182,
Okay.
which Sukumar believes describes an 8-year festival,
Right.
the Venus Octennial.
Right.
And at the heart of this festival is a symbol that's intrigued people for centuries, the swastika.
The swastika. Okay. Now that's a symbol with a complicated history. So I'm really curious to hear how the Harappans used it. What did it represent to them?
Well, on this particular tablet, H182, we see not 1, but 5 swastikas.
5.
And they're not all the same. Some are right-turning, some are left-turning. It's a pattern that really points to this profound understanding of Venus's movements across the sky.
5 swastikas. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Sukumar, building on Parpala's work, suggests that each swastika represents a 19-month cycle in Venus's 8-year journey.
Okay.
The right-turning ones symbolize Venus moving forward in its orbit, what astronomers call prograde motion, and the left-turning ones indicate retrograde motion, where it appears to move backward.
So they were mapping out Venus's complex dance across the sky.
Yeah.
But 5 swastikas, doesn't that create like a 5-pointed star?
Precisely. It's what's known as the Venus pentagram. The path Venus traces over 8 years, creating this beautiful 5-pointed star shape. And remember, this wasn't just about aesthetics. This showed a deep understanding of Venus's cycles, which were intertwined with their calendar and even their agricultural practices.
It's incredible to think they could track something so complex with such, like, seemingly simple symbols.
Yeah.
But H182 has other symbols too, right?
Yeah.
So what's the bigger picture? What's this tablet actually telling us?
It's like a cosmic invitation. Sukumar believes H182 describes an elaborate 8-year festival celebrating Venus's return to the same point in the sky, coinciding with the monsoon season.
So a cosmic party. Huh? Okay, serious. What else is on the tablet?
Well, there's a tiger symbol.
Oh, okay.
Remember how we talked about bilingual parallels?
Yeah.
Sukumar suggests that this tiger is like the Harappan precursor to the zodiac sign Leo, the lion.
Okay.
And this makes sense given that later Indian astronomy associates this constellation with royalty and power. So the tiger was probably a similar symbol of strength for the Harappans.
So the tiger symbol tells us when this Venus festival took place, like when the sun was in Leo.
Exactly. It was like a celestial marker pinpointing the right time for these festivities. The tablet also shows a full moon, and a symbol that Sukumar, building on Mahadevan's work, interprets as Dhanishta,
Okay.
a lunar mansion in the constellation Aquarius.
Okay.
And this tells us the precise position of the moon during this festival. And these symbols are repeated, kind of emphasizing the importance of this alignment.
It's like they were saying, mark your calendars, folks. This is not to be missed. But what did this festival actually look like? Were they like dancing in the streets, offering sacrifices to Venus? What do we know?
We can only imagine the details, but the clues suggest something truly spectacular. And this is where the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro comes into play. Remember, this city was known as the City of Water.
Right, that huge, impressive bath. So it wasn't just for, like, ancient Harappan spa days.
Well, it seems the Great Bath was much more than just a place to get clean.
Okay.
Sukumar theorizes it played a central role in these Venus octennial festivals. The sheer size and grandeur of the structure suggests it was a public gathering place, perhaps for rituals and ceremonies connected to the cosmos.
Okay, so I'm picturing it now. Like a torch-lit procession to the Great Bath. Priests are chanting, everyone's dressed in their finest clothes. It must have been an incredible sight.
And the discoveries around the Great Bath support this idea of a city designed with the cosmos in mind.
Okay.
Nearby, there's a structure with 27 blocks, likely representing the 27 lunar mansions in Indian astronomy. These lunar mansions are like these celestial waypoints that mark the moon's journey through the sky.
So they had a built-in lunar calendar.
Yeah.
Right there in their city planning.
Right, in their city planning. That's amazing.
That's pretty amazing. So what else did they find?
There's another interesting building with 8 small bathrooms.
Okay.
Sukumar suggests these may have been used by priestesses who were involved in the Venus rituals.
8 bathrooms, huh? Sounds like they were expecting quite a crowd for these cosmic celebrations.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of raises a bigger question. How advanced was Harappan astronomy? I mean, were they really like the first astronomers?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
Sukumar's research, building on the work of Prapola and Mahadevan, is really pushing us to reconsider that traditional timeline of astronomical knowledge.
Okay.
You see, the prevailing view has been that the Babylonians were the pioneers of astronomy,
Yeah.
but the evidence from the Indus Valley is suggesting a different story.
So you're saying that the Harappans might have been the original astronomy rock stars.
Yeah.
They were making these discoveries centuries before the Babylonians.
That's right. It's a bold claim, but the evidence is compelling.
Wow.
Remember, the Harappans weren't just tracking planets, they were deciphering these complex celestial cycles, like the Metonic cycle, which governs the moon's phases, and the Saros cycle, which predicts eclipses.
Hold on. How on earth could they have figured that out thousands of years ago? What kind of evidence points to that level of sophistication?
Well, one key piece of the puzzle is a seal known as the Cunningham seal.
Okay.
Sukumar, drawing on Parpola's earlier work, interprets this seal as depicting a triple conjunction.
A triple conjunction.
A very rare celestial event where 3 planets align in the sky.
Wow. Talk about a cosmic spectacle.
Yeah.
But how can they predict something like that?
That's the mind-blowing part. To predict a triple conjunction, you need a really deep understanding of planetary cycles and movements.
Right.
And remember, this was centuries before the invention of the telescope. So they were doing this all with naked eye observations and incredible mathematical skills.
This is totally changing my understanding of ancient history. So if the Harappans were making these discoveries first, what happened? Why don't we hear more about them in, the history of astronomy?
That's a question that continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists. One theory is that as the Harappan civilization declined, their knowledge was just gradually absorbed and adapted by other culture, including the Babylonians and later Indian astronomers.
So their knowledge didn't just disappear, it lived on, influencing the development of astronomy in other parts of the world.
Exactly. And by tracing the echoes of their knowledge through bilingual parallels, we can start to piece together a more complete picture of how these ancient cultures interacted and shared ideas.
This is incredible. I'm starting to see the Harappan civilization in a whole new light as pioneers of astronomical knowledge whose discoveries just rippled through time and space, influencing cultures across the globe.
And what's even more fascinating is that this astronomical knowledge wasn't just about science and calendars.
Right.
It was deeply intertwined with their belief systems and daily lives.
Right, of course.
Remember those short inscriptions we talked about?
Yeah.
Sukumar believes those were actually celestial omens, guiding the Harappans in everything from agriculture to politics.
Ooh, celestial omens. So they were looking to the stars for guidance, like an ancient horoscope. Tell me more about that. What kind of things were they looking for?
Well, for example, they associated certain planetary alignments with favorable conditions for planting or harvesting crops. And remember those lunar mansions? They believed those influenced rainfall and even the success of military campaigns.
So it wasn't just about what they could see in the sky.
Right.
They were attaching these deeper meanings and interpretations to these events.
Absolutely. Their understanding of the cosmos was woven into the fabric of their culture.
Wow.
And this brings us back to that question of astrology. While what the Harappans practiced might have been closer to what we now call astronomy, observing the heavens and applying that knowledge to practical matters.
Right.
It's clear that their observations were intertwined with their beliefs and interpretations of the world.
So in a way, they were kind of laying the groundwork for the more spiritual and symbolic systems of astrology that we see in later Indian traditions.
Precisely. And this kind of underscores that profound legacy of the Harappans. Their understanding of the cosmos not only shaped their own lives, but also influenced the development of astronomical and astrological thought for centuries to come. It's a legacy that's still being uncovered, revealing a civilization far more sophisticated and influential than we ever imagined.
This has been an incredible journey. I mean, who knew that a civilization that thrived over 4,000 years ago could hold so many secrets about the universe?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, if they were this advanced in astronomy, what other knowledge might be hidden within the Indescript?
Right. Just waiting to be deciphered.
Yeah.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? And it really speaks to the importance of this ongoing research. Sukumar's work, building on that foundation laid by Parpala and Mahadevan, just shows us that our understanding of the past is constantly evolving.
It's true.
And with each new discovery, we get a clearer picture of how interconnected these ancient cultures really were.
It's like we're piecing together this giant jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
And each new insight just reveals a more complex and fascinating picture.
Absolutely.
But if I had to pick one thing that really blew my mind today, it's the idea that the Harappans might have actually predated the Babylonians in their astronomical knowledge.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's a paradigm shift for sure. And it challenges us to question that traditional narrative of how scientific knowledge developed and spread. It's a reminder that there's still so many mysteries to unravel about the ancient world.
Totally. And that's what makes this so exciting. It's like we're on the brink of rewriting history, thanks to the dedication of researchers like Sukumar, Parpala, and Mahadevan. But before we wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from this deep dive into the world of Harappan astronomy?
I'd say never underestimate the ingenuity and wisdom of these ancient cultures. The Harappans, with their keen observations and their sophisticated understanding of the cosmos, offer a powerful lesson for all of us in the importance of curiosity, observation, and our deep connection to the natural world.
Beautifully said. So to our listener, I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am. The Indus Valley civilization wasn't just about impressive cities and advanced technology. It was about a people who looked up at the stars and sought to understand their place in this grand scheme of the universe. And their legacy continues to shine brightly, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge knows no bounds of time or space.
And remember, the stars hold countless stories. Who knows what other secrets they might reveal about our past, or maybe even about ourselves?
That's a great point. And if you're eager to explore further, be sure to check out our show notes for links to Sukumar's research and other fascinating resources on Harappan astronomy. Until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.